everybody, welcome to another edition of Transfermarkt TV International. We all at our Hamburg headquarters hope that you are healthy and well. After almost 70 days without international football, things are slowly getting back to normal, with the Bundesliga having started last weekend. We at Transfermarkt TV International will stay the same by providing you with the news and the hottest rumors in international football. So let's start with the rumor mill that sees in the opening Inter Milan being interested in not only one but three Belgian players. Romelu Lukaku, who is already with Milan, could prove decisive in convincing his compatriots Dries Mertens, Jan Vertonghen and Thomas Meunier to each sign on a free transfer in Milan, according to Gazzetta dello Sport. Thomas Meunier is the first player of PSG. The French side would like to continue working with the 28-year-old back, but the player wants to leave due to differences with manager Thomas Tuchel. Especially Meunier is linked to other clubs in Europe. Borussia Dortmund are said to be the front-runners, with Belgian internationals and friend Thorgan Hazard and Axel Witsel luring him to Germany. The number two option as a free transfer is experienced Jan Vertonghen of Tottenham Hotspur. The centre-back will not stay for a ninth year at White Hart Lane, as new Spurs manager Jose Mourinho has no intentions to extend the contract with the 33-year-old, making him an option for Inter Milan. And the most exciting player probably will be Napoli forward Dries Mertens. Following the report by Gazzetta dello Sport, he is a good friend of Lukaku's. After 7 years in Sicily, the contract of the 33-year-old runs out in summer, and in a new twist reported by Sky Italia, Napoli will more likely extend the stay of the 120 times goal scorer in 311 competitive games for Napoli. But if Mertens could not decide on staying with Napoli, he could be looking for a change of scenery and probably better chances for winning his first Serie A title ever with Inter Milan. Three high-class players who are available on no transfer fees in this summer's next transfer period, but are Thomas Meunier, Dries Mertens and Jan Vertonghen the hottest assets on the market? We'll check it out as we take a look at the top 5 players who are available this summer on no transfer fees as their contracts run out. Ryan Fraser, the 26-year-old from AFC Bournemouth, is our number 5. His market value stands at 17.5 million euros. Great Uruguayan striker Edinson Cavani, 33 years old. His market value 20 million euros. He will not stay with Paris Saint-Germain. Dries Mertens, that we heard, Napoli's striker, 20 million euros is his market value, our number 3. Number 2, Willian of Chelsea. His market value is 22.5 million euros. Lately, the Brazilian winger was connected to Arsenal to stay in London. And our number 1 indeed, Thomas Meunier, the 28-year-old Belgian international, who is rated at 24 million euros in market value. Let's see where he ends up, Dortmund or Inter Milan. Inter rival Juventus Turin and Barcelona, according to reports of Spanish paper Sport, have agreed on a deal that sees right back Nelson Semedo of Barcelona moved to Turin in exchange for central midfielder Miralem Pjanic and Juve right back Mattia De Sciglio, as well as 25 million euros as an additional fee. After plenty of negotiation between the two clubs, the complex deal, which will see 3 players swap the clubs, is close to becoming a reality. Semedo, a Portugal international at 26 years of age, has 2 more years left at Camp Nou and is evaluated at 32 million euros in market value. Pjanic, on the other hand, the 30-year-old Bosnia international, has a market value of 52 million euros that, together with De Sciglio's 9.5 million euros, are close to 30 million euros more valuable than Semedo, thus suggesting that Juventus is willing to give up these 30 million and another 25 as a fee for getting Semedo. Hard to believe, in my opinion. If Barca was paying this extra 25 million euros to Juventus, it would make more sense. Let's see what will happen in this supposedly close swap deal. Real Madrid, just as earlier mentioned, Inter Milan might use their Belgian players to persuade a promising compatriot left wing, as Spanish portal Defensa Central speculates. 17-year-old RC Anderlecht talent Jeremy Doku could be on Real's radar because of his flexibility and explosiveness in attack. Doku played in 21 Jupiler League games, scored 3 goals and assisted on 3 more. In his first professional season, he became a Belgian under-21 international and is compared to Liverpool star winger Sadio Mane. His compatriots at Real, Thibaut Courtois and Eden Hazard, are set to discuss Doku with manager Zinedine Zidane. Some big names and an exciting talent for 3 southern European giants, Real, Barcelona and Juventus Turin. But of course there's more in our rumour mill, especially in the wealthiest league in the world, the Premier League. At first, Tottenham have no intention of allowing €60 million record signing Tanguy Ndombele to leave the club this summer, as paper Daily Mail found out. The 23-year-old central midfielder has been linked with a move away from the Spurs after a difficult, injury-prone first season in the Premier League. Barcelona and Liverpool were said to be very interested. However, Spurs manager Jose Mourinho has understood that he will not be letting the France international leave whenever the transfer window reopens, but instead wants the most expensive Spurs signing in history to make the most of his 6-year contract in North London and prove his critics wrong. Also staying, but only until the season in England is finished, is Manchester captain and Spanish World Cup and European champion David Silva. The 34-year-old will leave the Citizens after 10 years as his contract expires in summer. British paper Times reports that though Silva will definitely stay as long as there are games played in Premier League this season, even if this exceeds his contract that ends on June 30th. Silva, who has played in 301 Premier League games so far for the Sky Blues, is linked to a couple of MLS teams like New York City FC and probably ends his illustrious career in the United States. A long-term Manchester City deal, according to paper The Sun, is planned for 23-year-old striker Gabriel Jesus. The Citizens are ready to extend the Brazilian's current deal at the Etihad that runs until June 2023. With a ban from European competition still a very real possibility for Manchester City, many of their stars without their European platform could be on the move. However, club owners are ready to give Gabriel Jesus a new contract that would pay him $120,000 per week in order to fend off interest from Italian giants Juventus, who are also said to be interested in the former Palmeiras star. Also in The Sun, we found another speculation that sees Wilfried Zaha being a transfer candidate for Newcastle United if the club's £300 million takeover by a Saudi Arabian consortium is granted by the Premier League. The 27-year-old Ivory Coast international from Crystal Palace has been a regular in our category rumour mill and was linked mainly to his former team Manchester United. Now, with the perspective of joining a newly competitive team in England's top tier, the Eagles might get the supposedly awaited €60 million as a transfer fee for Zaha. Manchester United are working on a deal for Bayern Munich midfielder Corentin Tolisso, who is compassionate about playing in the Premier League, as British paper Express has it. In his 3rd season for the German champions, the former Olympique Lyon standout and French World Cup champion 2018, partly due to injuries, hasn't been a regular in the lineup, making a move away from Germany plausible. The 25-year-old was Munich's all-time record signing in 2017 at €41.5 million and could be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's new midfield option for summer, with the future of Paul Pogba looking less than assured. And again, Manchester United. The Daily Mail reports that the Red Devils are ready to step up efforts to sign Inter Milan centre-back Milan Skriniar, with the Italian club wanting €60 million for the Slovakian, who is contract bound at San Siro until 2023. United are keen to strengthen their defense in finding a reliable back partner for Harry Maguire in place of inconsistent Swede Victor Lindelöf. The 25-year-old Slovakia international only missed 1 game all season in Champions League and Serie A due to a yellow card suspension and has a market value of €48 million. Real Madrid is also said to be interested. Last week, many of you liked our top 11 of a team with a second citizenship for the Democratic Republic of Congo. That team, led by Inter Milan striker Romelu Lukaku, had an impressive market value of 364.6 million euros, with Lukaku alone being more valuable than the whole current national team of Congo. So we decided this week, let's have another team, and this time the former Dutch colony Suriname. At 800,000 euros, this is their most valuable player. 29-year-old Nigel Hasselbank, born in Amsterdam. He went through the Ajax Academy, but never really made it into the Eredivisie. His path led to Scotland, where he had premiership stints at St Johnstone, St Mirren and Hamilton Academical, and most recently with the Israeli team Hapoel Be'er-Sheva. Hasselbank is the star of this Caribbean national team, but would hardly make it into our top 11 of Dutch players with a second citizenship with Suriname. Between the posts, Kenneth Vermeer, the 34-year-old veteran goalkeeper for Los Angeles FC, his market value of 1.6 million euros is twice as high as Nigel Hasselbank's 800,000. At centre-back, the UEFA European Player of the Year 2019, Virgil van Dijk. The Liverpool centre-back crowned his great career last year by winning the Champions League and is very close to be adding this season's Premier League title with Liverpool. The 28-year-old has 33 caps for the Netherlands and alone has 80 times the value of the national team of his ancestors, Suriname. Our left centre-back is promising young talent Owen Wijndal from AZ Alkmaar. The 20-year-old left-footed defender has gone through all stages of the Netherlands national youth teams and right now stands at an impressive 11 million euros in market value. At the opposite side, in our three-backs formation, we have Jairo Riedewald, a former Ajax player who 2 years ago signed for 9 million euros with Crystal Palace in England's top tier. His market value has decreased recently as he was not a regular for Roy Hodgson. In defensive midfield, we'll find two Dutch players following in the footsteps of former Elftal legend and also Suriname-rooted Edgar Davids, who newly shaped this position. First, Georginio Wijnaldum from Liverpool, who has been an essential factor for the Reds' success since his arrival in 2016. The 29-year-old at 40 million euros is the second most valuable player in this top 11 with Suriname heritage. And 11 years younger, but also already at 11 million euros in market value, is exciting central midfield talent Rian Gravenberch. The 18-year-old went through all stages of Ajax Amsterdam's youth academy and in this season has participated in 9 Eredivisie matches for the senior team, scoring twice and assisting once. Our reward for him, Gravenberch made it into our could-be Suriname team. As usual for the Dutch style, this is an offensive-minded team, so we put two strikers on the midfield sides. At left, Quincy Promes, who after 5 years abroad came back to the Eredivisie last summer on a 15.7 million euro transfer fee from Sevilla. The 28-year-old Ajax striker with 12 goals in 20 league games became our first choice at left side, as he was Russia's Player of the Year 2017 and top goal scorer for the Premier Liga in 17-18 with the 2017 champion Spartak Moscow. Promes is joined at right midfield by Steven Bergwijn, who has become a Tottenham player this January. The 22-year-old left his youth and first professional team PSV Eindhoven on a 30 million euro transfer fee. Unfortunately, he injured his ankle after just 5 Premier League matches in which he scored 2 goals right away. He is expected back with the Spurs on the pitch if the Premier League season resumes after the coronavirus. In attack, at left winger, it is father and son for the possible Suriname national team, just like his father Patrick, who together with Van Dijk and probably the best of all, Ruud Gullit, must be considered in the all-time top 5 players with Suriname ancestry. So is Justin Kluivert, a player of this actual top 11. The 21-year-old talent is in his second year with AS Rome in Italy's top tier. At right wing, AZ Alkmaar's Calvin Stengs, who won his first cap for the Elftal in November 2019. At age 21, he is a standout in AZ's great season so far, as he accounted for 5 goals and 8 assists in 16 Eredivisie matches. His market value increased to now 18 million euros. And finally, our central striker, Doniel Malen. Before injuring his knee, the 21-year-old was the most dangerous striker for PSV Eindhoven, where he scored 25 goals in just 25 competitive games. He also hit the mark in his first of 4 international games for the Netherlands as he finalized a 4-2 victory for the Elftal in Germany. We can imagine that Suriname would have been excited if Malen, evaluated at 25 million euros, would have chosen the Caribbean citizenship as his first. This team, that could have been a Suriname team, comes in at a market value of 257.8 million euros. They would probably be a bigger threat in the CONCACAF qualifiers than the actual one that, by the way, won their last match, 2-1 at Nicaragua. One of the goals came from Nigel Hasselbank, Suriname's top star. Our last section of the day, the segment News Ticker, is once again influenced by the coronavirus pandemic. Celtic Glasgow have been crowned champion in the Scottish Premiership for the 9th consecutive time, while Hearts of Midlothian have been relegated. This result was reached after the top 5 clubs unanimously decided that the season could not be concluded. The final standings were determined on a points per game average. The season was halted on March 13th because of the coronavirus, with Celtic's 13 points clear of rivals Rangers, who played 1 game less. Hearts of Midlothian, managed by Daniel Stendel, meanwhile went into the hiatus 4 points adrift of second to bottom Hamilton Academical. The Premier League sees things a little differently, as their clubs have unanimously approved plans to resume training in small groups from Tuesday. Following their so-called Project Restart strategy, players are obliged to practice social distancing at all times, with contact training not permitted at this stage. Testing for coronavirus at top-flight clubs has taken place over the last 2 days and will continue throughout the training period. A return to match action is targeted for June 12th, with an environment as safe as possible for all concerned. The league was suspended on March 13th. The newly approved protocols were presented to players and managers on conference calls, which took place last week. England captain Harry Kane has bought the shirt sponsorship to League Two side Leyton Orient's next season's kit. The 26-year-old Tottenham striker, who started his senior football career on loan at Orient in 2011, has taken the front of shirt sponsorship for Orient's 3 kits following approval from league authorities. Kane has donated the sponsorship to 3 causes, with a home shirt donning a thank you message to the frontline heroes of the coronavirus pandemic, the away shirt showing Haven House Children's Hospice's logo, and the 3rd kit donated to Mental Health Charity Mind. And something nice to end the show: the oldest Ligue 1 player, Brazilian centre-back Hilton, will stay active for another year, as ASC Montpellier officially announced the 42-year-old extended his expiring contract until 2021. Hilton is very thankful. Initially, I had the dream to play until age 40, but now I even have the opportunity to be active on the highest level until I'm 43. Hilton said he joined Montpellier in the summer of 2011. Look at his numbers. Despite his age, he is still very active. He started every Ligue 1 game for his club in the terminated season, and a 66.8% in duels won makes him one of the highest percentage-wise duel winners in the top 5 leagues. Congratulations, Hilton! Thank you very much for joining us once again at Transfermarkt TV International. Please stay healthy and keep up following all the social distancing rules of your local government, so we all can help fighting the coronavirus. That's it for this week's edition. Thank you very much for joining. Have a good one.